Hey there, Chris Fromm back with you again for another segment of Lyrics and the Law, or Legal Lyrics. And this one kind of goes way back. And I say way back because it even predates my birth. I was born in 73. This one comes to us from 1970 when Steve Miller Band was all the rage. And he wrote a song called Take the Money and Run. And it's about two young lovers, Billy Joe and Bobby Sue. And they had nothing better to do, we're told, than to sit around the house, get high, and watch the tube. So they are kind of the past version of our Netflix and chill, right? So they're sitting on the couch, smoking a little weed, watching TV, they get bored. So what do? They go down to El Paso. They decide to cut loose, the lyrics tell us. They go down to old El Paso and they ran into a great big hassle because Billy Joe shot a man while robbing his castle. Bobby Sue, she took the money and run. So what's curious here is, all right, I'm thinking conspiracy. I'm thinking felony murder along the way, right? And let's break that down. Clearly, the two of them are together wherever they're smoking grass sitting on the couch. They then decide to go somewhere else together. I'm going to use that as strong evidence of conspiracy because they're acting in concert. Now, is there a criminal action is really the question that we need to ponder. So they kill a man while robbing his castle. And let's put the conspiracy aside for a minute, because I think we can come back to it once the crime actually transpires, because it says that he killed a man while robbing his castle. Now, we know that robbery is the use of force or threat of force to gain another's property. So you can't really rob a house or rob a castle because you have to use force. You can rob a person. What you do to a castle or to a house, that's called burglary, right? That's a crime against the habitation. So I'm kind of betwixt and between here on this one because is it a robbery or is it a burglary? Well, I think it's probably both, right? It's got to be a robbery because you can't kill a house. And it says that he killed a man while robbing his castle. So I would argue that they broke into, and I shouldn't even say they, I should say he broke into this castle, right? So Billy Joe goes in and he's robbing the castle. So he's in the scope or the course of the inherently dangerous felony, and he shoots a man. Well, the majority rule says that that's felony murder because it's during the scope of an inherently dangerous felony. Now, you're probably thinking, well, is it a robbery or is it a burglary? Well, I would argue on an essay that it's both a robbery and a burglary. But ultimately for felony murder, it doesn't matter. Why, you ask? Because all we need is an inherently dangerous felony. And guess what? Yeah, you know, robbery and burglary are both inherently dangerous felonies. So we have our inherently dangerous felony that during the course of that, somebody dies. There's felony murder liability. So Billy Joe, he's definitely going to be on the hook for felony murder. But what about Bobby Sue? I mean, all she did was take the money and run. Well, she was there. She went there on purpose. She went there with Billy Joe. And when Billy Joe was done, she took the money and ran. I think there's strong evidence here, right? That she was there at the beginning and she was there at the end. She wasn't simply just an opportunist, right? Who happened to be walking by the castle and saw a bunch of money or jewels in a bag and took off with them. No. She may have kind of abandoned Billy Joe along the way because she took the money and ran, said, you know, the heck with my co-conspirator, but I think they are just that. They are co-conspirators. Therefore, we would have felony murder for both Billy Joe and for Bobby Sue. And then, of course, because they had, or I would argue that they shared the same criminal mind, the same objective here, she would be on the hook as well as he for conspiracy. So there is an oldie but a goodie, as we say. We would have conspiracy, we would have robbery and burglary, and then of course we would have felony murder. Now, I didn't talk about any other types of murder because the facts don't give us enough to say, was this an intentional killing? We don't know how it happens. But felony murder is that death during the scope of an inherently dangerous felony. Both robbery and burglary are going to fit the bill. So there is another session of Lyrics and the Law. We'll see you for the next one.